Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. Well, as you may notice, none of my fans are spinning on my Solid AI cards, including that one down there. Something's going on with the new update. I don't have any exact details, but I've been checking out ExtrmWillTech's videos. We'll have his channel linked down below. He's like the Solid expert. And he thinks it's update related. Normally when Solid forces users, or I guess miners I'll call us, to switch to an update, they also make the customer switch to that update, and either the update's not working good or the customers are lagging behind or something. Don't want to speculate too much, is not working great, and what that's leading to is basically zero demand for jobs. So my 3090s are sitting vacant. My 4090s are sitting vacant, and that almost never happens. They're at low demand right now. Even the 3070s and the 3080s are not working either, and it cracks me up that this is a 3070. It is like one of the biggest GPUs I have on here. Very deceiving. So a couple of things I want to do today. Short story, I was freaking out that I messed my rigs up because they weren't getting any jobs at all. I did get the ISP out here the other day to take a look at my internet because I was having drop-offs like once every 3 days, and it was killing my Solid jobs every time, which is so frustrating. You get 7 rigs up and running, killing it with jobs, and then boom, internet tanks for like 2 minutes and you lose all your jobs. So I had them out here, and I'll show you what they did, and word's still out on if it's fixed or not, but hopefully it can't be any worse than it was. I'll show you what they did. We're going to be installing a new shelf in this video so I can put 3 more Solid rigs on here. We'll have a total of 10, and that will probably be my stopping point. We'll go over what parts we're going to use for those builds, and eventually I want to do a video on why I choose the parts I choose, because there's a lot of people talking smack in this video about he doesn't know how to build PCs, those part choices are bad. So we're going to go over why, not in this video, but another one, why I chose the parts I did on that rig. Now, one other thing I want to check in this video is ExtrmWillTech said that he's shutting all his rigs down to save power. But I'm curious, since I have the Govee smart meters, how much power are these things sitting idle drawing? It would be 7 rigs right now, and I have them all unplugged, so I should be able to get an exact reading over basically the last hour. How many kilowatt hours have they used? And we'll be able to see kind of how much they're pulling idle. And I think it's like very, very, very low, because they either all are plugged into HDMI dummy plugs or HDMI to the switch itself. And for my testing previously, that makes them pull way, way less watts. So very interested to see what that is, because then, yeah, maybe I am better turning them off. And then we'll also check out my Solid earnings. So after a quick word from today's sponsor, let's get into it. Today's video is sponsored by ViaBTC. ViaBTC has been a leading global blockchain service provider since 2016, with some of the largest mining pools for the most profitable coins. ViaBTC has a very active X account as well as a Telegram account with over 10,000 members. Be sure to check those out. ViaBTC supports merge mining Litecoin with 7 other coins. The list is constantly growing, and there's a reason they're the largest pool for Litecoin. They also support auto withdrawals, which makes mining setup as easy as just setting it and forgetting it and getting your coins when they're ready. ViaBTC is also rolling out a new crypto loans platform available on their website. So if you're interested in signing up to ViaBTC pool today, I will have my referral link down below. You get a little special benefits if you're a new member. Check them out today, guys, and make sure to do your own research before signing up for crypto services and products. Let's get back to the main video. So I've gotten a ton of new subscribers from all the Solid stuff, and more specifically all the AI rig builds I've made. So if this is your first kind of main video you're watching, thanks for being here. Let me kind of describe what this channel is like. I'm about to build a shelf on here, so not only is it tech builds and AI stuff, it's kind of a follow along as I build my DIY crypto garage, my AI journey, that sort of thing. It's not just kind of tech related, it's a little bit of everything. So I like building stuff on here, and so hopefully that's something you guys like. It is a real mix of videos on here, but like I mentioned, the first thing I want to do here is build a shelf that's just barely over these rigs, so I have room to put 3 more on here. And the plan will be to do, I have a bunch of 3070s left over from my GPU mining rigs, so the plan will eventually be to have 3 3070 rigs right here, so I'll have 5 total 3070 salad rigs. But I'm always scouring Facebook Marketplace, GPU deals, that's my website to find really good graphics card deals, and local deals to try to find cheap 4090s and 3090s, because those seem to be kind of the best bang for your buck cards for AI that will work on other platforms as well. So I think first, let's go ahead and get this shelf installed, and then we'll do some of those other actions I said in the intro. Well, I lied. I don't really want to get all sweaty before I do the rest of the items. So let's take a look at what these new builds are going to consist of in terms of motherboards. So if you can't tell, I did a little shopping on AliExpress, and this is what I came up with here. So this is called an X99 Machinist build, and notice that it has a couple 16X PCIe slots, and the goal here would be this should hopefully one day be able to support multiple GPUs. Now, Salad currently cannot support multiple GPUs, which is why I built 7 full-blown computers right there. But eventually that is something they're working on, and I'd like to already have the hardware to support this. Additionally, this is no more expensive than some of the other rigs I've been doing, and it has a ton of slots here for RAM. So I actually bought 256 gigabytes of this server RAM, I believe it's called. Honestly, I'm not super good with all these parts, guys. It's kind of going to be a new build, so I'm going to be learning along with you. We're using a Xeon processor, and the thought would be I have 2 of these boards, so I'll put 128 gigabytes on each, maybe more when I get more GPUs. Now, something I also want to clarify is that a ton of people were giving me crap about 128 gigabytes of RAM on there, and that might be slightly too much, but I've seen pictures of people's salad rigs pulling over 100 gigs of RAM concurrently. And those are jobs that have been making over 26 cents an hour, and they've held on to those jobs for over 30 days straight. So it can be used. Someone said Salad can only use 64 gigs. That's not true. That's just what the demand chart shows as the minimum for some jobs. It can use more, and you will get somewhat priority if you have more and hopefully hold on to those jobs longer. So that is why I'm kind of building to scale. With these cheap boards, cheap RAM, much cheaper than the Ripjaws RAM, and then this teeny little CPU cooler, because this thing's not going to be doing anything CPU related with these little Xeons. All right, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at just what the ISP did. That's a little different here. Notice I now have this black cable that is coming in from the pole and going. Actually, the guy was very happy because I've already got a bunch of cables running up into my office right there, and he was able to use the same hole that I've made to wire the new cable up. So why did we wire a new cable? Let me show you. Internet comes through the wall right here over the door, and it used to go into this extremely old white cable here. He said he's been a tech for like 30 years and never seen or never used cables like that, so it's at least 30 years old. And the thought was that we're going from this good new cable to this old cable that the diameter was not the same, and somewhere between there and the modem we were losing some of our strength. So we decided to just loop it back up with new wire, take it across, and that's where it goes. So I have both a new modem and new wiring to hopefully help with those dropouts, because Spectrum was able to see it on their end too, that I was dropping out. And last thing here, let me know, guys, do you use just the stock modem from your ISP, or I've heard that the Motorola ones are good. I'm curious kind of what's better. Let me know. So let's get some quick measurements here, and then we will cut our 2x4s. I did get a new saw blade, so I'm going to install that as well. 47 on the dot, which matches what I saw when I built this new shelf right here. So let me check the back, and then should be good. I think that'll work. I hadn't switched my circular saw blade in like 5 years, so I'm very excited to try out this new blade. I used someone else's for something, and I was like, oh my gosh, this cuts like butter. And then that's when I realized I need a new one. Well, I got the damn wrong size saw blade, so back to the dull one for now. Dog ran off. Winnie, get over here. 47 on the dot. Just use that one to cut our other one here. Make sure we use the flat side though. Perfect. So I went ahead and measured the halfway point here, minus the thickness of the 2x4, but I did not minus the thickness of the shelf here. So I'm going to put my bottom of my board maybe slightly below the little line I made just to account for that. I also cut a little section here so that I can rest this on there as I'm screwing in this side over here, just to make it a little easier for me. So let's grab a couple screws and get started. I'm gonna pre-drill these. I forgot, that makes it much, much easier. My rigs all have plenty of room still with that right there. Actually, I am gonna go right on my mark, so get that screwed in. Nice. I need to do this more often. That makes it way easier. A little more difficult to get over to it on this side. Okay, that is sturdy. Do the same thing at the back. Pull out my little support board here. Nice. Actually gonna place this through on this side because I have so many wires going across the back here. Theoretically, this should be perfectly level, assuming my shelf below it was level, but I can kind of already tell that that is not the case. That's not bad. That's pretty bad. So I just got to bump up. I've just got to bump that board a little bit up. Okay. Now all that's left is taking our shelf board and putting that on there, and then we will have room for 3 more AI rigs on there. So I got to go take a quick consulting call, and then I will be back. And then don't forget, guys, we're going to check the power of all these sitting idle and see. And if you don't know, I do offer one-on-one video consulting. If you have any questions on AI, mining, anything like that, shoot me an email. My email is in the description. Now, if I was a smart man, I would have built my shelf 48 inches across, so I didn't have to cut I only had to cut my 2x4s in half. I didn't have to cut this 4-foot sheet, but for some reason I decided 47 inches would be the better method. So should have definitely done 48. There's a name for that sort of building. I forget exactly what it's called, but basically so everything just kind of fits. But just need to cut an inch off of this, and then it should just sit directly down in there, so that'll be good. This little shelf material here is pretty thin, but it's definitely strong enough to hold 3 computers, and this sheet's only like $14, so really not too bad of a material to use. Just mark this in a few places and cut it up. Try to get all the dust off. I don't get it in my rigs. Come on, baby. I don't know why I didn't cut it just a millimeter short. I don't care if it's a perfect fit. I don't think it's gonna fit. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it a millimeter short. How about now? Like a glove. I did, however, forget I also need to cut it long ways. But that's all right. I can just trace it out now and get it exact. like a glove. Maybe has a bit of a downwards tilt, but that's all right. This is a mobile test bench I've been working on. Let's see if this fits under here. This block. Boom. Okay. Looks perfect. So I'm actually, I will put this back up here because I have nowhere to store it right now. But for now, we got to screw that in. A lot of people have kind of given me crap over the years for the wooden shelf, but man, has it come in handy in terms of being able to customize it. So I used to have basically no shelves up there and just 4 big shelves. And now I've got 2, 4, 6 shelves here, perfectly sized to run my AI rigs. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this one up here. So we can get an idea of kind of what that is going to look like. Dang, that is going to be very cool. So what I plan on doing, I need to get one more beast GPU to fill out the top as big ones, bottom as big ones, and then the middle is going to be 3 Founders Edition 3070s. That one will be getting replaced. That's a 3072. Just so it looks balanced, I guess. Has a clean look for the YouTube. And very excited about that. So shelf is finished, guys. Let's get on and monitor our Govee plugs and see how many kilowatt hours we're using just sitting here. I'll use the last hour as a judge, and then we will check out my solid earnings from the last few days. See you upstairs. Like I mentioned, guys, I want to get an idea of how much idle wattage am I pulling, how much am I spending per day on power if these things are not generating any money, like if they don't have jobs at all. So if you don't know, I have Govee smart plugs here that allow me to basically go in and check the idle kilowatt hour usage on all of them. So you can see they're each pulling about 50 watts, and I can go in and look per hour and see how much kilowatt hours they've used. So I'm going to leave this running in the bottom right here just as I go through all my rigs and check the wattage. But this is what it came out to be. So looking at the table here, the 4090 with 128 gigabytes of RAM is the highest drawer. The highest drawer. I don't know how to say that. But they're all pretty close together and very, very low. And some of these actually have like very minimal CPU jobs and maybe bandwidth sharing as well. So this isn't just totally idle. But if we sum all of that together, we can see that our total kilowatt hours per hour, I think that's the correct way to do that, is 0.35. So we're not even using a full kilowatt hour each hour. And then our total dollars that we're spending per hour is just our kilowatt hour times our price. Mine personally is 11 cents, which is pretty low compared to most in the country. But even with this number being so small, even if your electricity was 20 cents, as you can see, I'm only spending 4 cents per hour to let all my rigs sit idle. And for the whole day, I'm spending under $1 for all of them to sit idle. So I am not going to go the ExtrmWillTech route of turning everything off. I can easily stomach spending $1 a day in electricity to not have to reboot all those rigs. And I want to have my rigs up and running for the second those jobs turn around, that I'm one of the first people to pick them up. So I'm going to let them just continue doing their thing. This is what's pretty great about Salad. So it sucks when you don't have jobs, but it's not like you're just losing a ton of money. They don't really draw much electricity at all when they're sitting idle, as you can see right here. So I did mention that I will quickly go over my profits as well too. So last 24 hours, pretty abysmal earnings, $1.57. Now, when I got my internet fixed, I did have to cut every single job. So if I still had some from the previous days, this probably wouldn't be as low. But I basically cut my internet, and then job demand fell flat at the exact same time. And that really kind of hurt me. The last 7 days, $55 total so far, $440. I'm just letting this number go up and up and up in hopes that they reduce the fees on like the $1,000 PayPal gift cards. That 10% fee is pretty brutal. I'm hoping they change it to like 5% or something, and that's why I'm just letting that build up. So you can see all the rigs here. Some of them have not gotten jobs at all since I turned off the internet. The 230 or the 3090 right here and the 3070 right here. The others show that they've seen jobs recently, but that's because, like I mentioned, they're on low power, like CPU jobs and stuff. So one of my 4090s is making 1/8 of a cent per hour. And you can see how low they are when I put in my 3080, which did have a job up until 2 a.m. this morning. And now all of them are just kind of fluctuating down low. That's either a bandwidth sharing job or a CPU job. I'm not sure, but I did want to turn that back on so I can at least make sure that they're still working. Because like I mentioned, I was scared that I did something with my internet and broke them. But no, it just coincided perfectly with the drop in demand. And that's why I really haven't found any jobs. So right now, 7 out of 7 rigs do not have a job. Let's quickly take a look at the aggregate over 7 days. I did have some pretty good days. We'll actually do it over 30 days. My 2 best days are still $20 a day when I had those insane 3090 and 4090 jobs, and then I accidentally cut them by pulling my internet on accident. That one wasn't the ISP's fault. That was very dumb. I did have a good day over here, $13 per day, and then that was when I cut the internet again to get it fixed. So not the best time to do it, unfortunately. And so I added that 7th or the other 4090 like somewhere in this time frame, and I really haven't gotten to see kind of what my new peak is yet. It should be closer to like $25. We just need demand to pick back up. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. I would not lose hope on Salad. I don't think it's oversaturated. I just think there's some sort of issues going on with the new update. It is also the weekend, so come early this week, I'm hoping some things to turn around. Thanks for watching as always. If you want to learn how to build a Salad rig, I will leave a budget build up and an expensive build up right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Peace.